Hi everyone, my name is Kelly from Fit Vision. I'm going to be taking you guys through a nice yoga flow class today. We're going to be starting ourselves off lying down completely flat onto the mat. So take your time getting down, finding any position that's comfortable for you. Just lengthening your legs out below you, your arms to your side, ideally with your palms turned upward, and closing down your eyes when that feels good for you. Allow your body to become heavy as you settle in, noticing any sensations that you are feeling within your body. Maybe there's some tension that you're holding through your shoulders or through your hips. So just allow everything to soften a little bit more and start to notice your breath as well. So as you inhale, allow your belly to fill, rising up like a balloon. And then as you exhale, allow all of that air to just empty out of your body again, refreshing and resetting both your body and your mind as you fully arrive on the mat today. For your next couple of breaths, we're going to try to deepen the inhale a little bit more and lengthen our exhale a little bit further. This is going to allow us to switch off the nervous system and to really get settled in before we start to move our bodies. So once you've found that comfortable position, take a big inhale in through your nose, filling your belly all the way up to the top, and then let out a long exhale through your nose or your mouth, releasing all of this air once again. Inhale, feeling the belly rise, and exhale, feeling the belly full. As you inhale, can you think about filling the body with positive energy, feelings of release, feelings of relaxation? And as you exhale, can you allow any feelings of tension, stress, or worry to just melt back out of the body again? Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose or the mouth. We're going to take 3 more cycles of breath, completely at your own pace, as deep and long as you can. Bottom of your next exhale, I invite you to just start to bring some life back into your body. So for you, this might be wriggling your fingers and toes, maybe rolling your ankles and wrists. You also have the option to roll your head left to right. And then the next time you inhale, reach your arms behind your head, lengthening your body as much as you can. So push your fingers all the way away from your toes. And on your exhale, hug your knees into your chest, giving them a hug, and you might like to rock across your lower back here. So just massaging out those muscles at the base of your spine and allowing your hips to gently wake themselves up. Keeping the right knee pulled into the chest, extend your left leg out long, resting it down to the mat, and you'll start to feel a little bit of an opening through that left hip. If this feels okay for you, I'd invite you to bring your right knee a little bit farther out to the right side, just encouraging that inner right thigh to open up as well. Taking one more big breath in here. On an exhale, use your left hand to bring the right knee all the way over to the left side of the body. Keeping your right shoulder heavy on the mat. Maybe the gaze stays up to the sky. Or you might also like to look over your right shoulder, deepening that twist just a little bit further. While we're here, take a big inhale and imagine like you're expanding that space through the right side of your rib cage. And exhale to soften your spine a little bit more. Take one more big breath in here. And on your next exhale, use the left hand to guide the right knee back into center. And then we'll change sides. So gently pull the left knee in, extend the right leg out. Again, just give that knee a little hug first. Feel free to adjust the hips if needed. Maybe this is good for you, or maybe you'd like to bring your left knee that little bit wider again, feeling that left inner thigh. Take a nice deep breath into the belly here, just nourishing that lower part of the pelvis. And on your exhale, use the right hand to guide the left knee over to the right side of the body, finding that twist again, opening up that left shoulder. Once again, maybe the gaze stays to the sky, or maybe you could look over to the left hand. Breathing as deeply as you can, expand through that left side of the ribcage. Exhale to release the spine. Take one more big breath in. And on your exhale, gently guide the left knee back to center. Keeping hold of the left knee, you're going to use your right leg to give yourself a little bit of a kick up into a seated position. And then we're going to sweep the feet out behind us so that we can come on over into an all fours position. Now, when we come into our all fours position, just check that the wrists and elbows are beneath the shoulders and the knees are beneath the hips. I invite you to close down your eyes here, just so we can really feel into the spine as we start to get a bit more movement. Take an inhale as you lift your head and bum up toward the sky, pressing your belly button down toward the mat. And then exhale as you round your spine and tuck your chin into your chest. So inhale, lifting the head and bum, belly button moves toward the mat. And exhale as you round your spine back down again. We're going to go for about 3 more here, but I'd invite you to really tune into your breath as you move. So use that inhale to lift, and then use your exhale to round, letting that air melt out of the body. Inhale as you lift, and exhale as you round. Taking one more inhale to lift, finding that nice arch through the spine. And exhale as you round back down. Coming back into our neutral spine, we're going to get a little bit more into the wrists. So moving through a figure of 8, imagine like you're drawing this with your hips. You're going to bring your hips up toward your left hand, over to your right hand, back down to your left heel, and then over to your right heel before moving up to the left hand again. So it doesn't have to be a perfect figure of 8. But just imagine like the hips are drawing that nice continuous circle around, and you're leaning your body weight a little bit more into each of those 4 corners, getting our wrists warm and our hips ready to move. Taking one more big breath in this direction. On your exhale, we're going to turn that 8 back around. So start going in the opposite direction to whatever way you were just going. Taking your time. It can take a little minute for the brain to catch up on that one, so move nice and slow, deepening that breath if you can as you move. Nothing too crazy here, just getting our joints ready. Taking one more big breath in here and exhaling to come back into that all fours position. Do feel free to take the wrists off at any point and give them a little shake out if they're feeling some tension. Taking that all fours again, we're going to inhale the left leg out behind us, finding some length here. So imagine like you're stretching your left toes all the way to the back of the room, and then reach your right arm out in front of you. Take a big breath to really solidify that length through the body, and exhale as you bring your right elbow and left knee to meet in the center, tucking your chin into your chest. Inhale to stretch back out again, find that reach of the fingers and the toes, and exhale to curl back in. Just 3 more like that. Take a big breath to lengthen. Exhale to curve back in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curve. Last time, inhale to lengthen the spine out again. Take a big breath in as you hold. Maybe you could lift that arm and leg a little bit higher, stretch out the front body, and exhale as you bring that hand and leg back down to the mat. Again, feel free to give the wrists a little shake out before we move to the other side. Find that stable all fours position again, and inhale your right leg out behind you. Find that length first. Check that your hips are nice and stable at the same height as one another, and then lengthen your left arm out in front of you. Take that big inhale Exhale, elbow to knee, chin to chest, round your spine. Inhale, stretch back out again. Exhale, curl, spreading each vertebra apart as you get that big curve. Exhale, curl in, elbow right into the knee. 2 more here. Take a big breath to lengthen. Exhale as you come in. And the next time that you stretch out, take that big breath to lengthen. Push the fingers away from the toes. And again, maybe you could lift the leg and the arm a little bit higher. Stretch that front body. Take 1 more big breath in. And exhale as you melt that arm and leg back down to the mat. Give yourself a little moment, shake out the wrists, shake out the hands, whatever feels good for you. And then we're going to start to shimmy the feet back. So if you imagine like your feet are right at the back of your mat or even just off of it, but your hips are going to stay on top of your knees. Start to walk your hands forward as if toward the very top of your mat. Taking an inhale to lengthen out your spine. Again, checking the hips don't move forward at all. And on your exhale, just drop your chest down toward the ground, allowing your armpits to almost open up and your shoulder blades to spread apart. You have the option to rest your forehead or your chin on the mat, depending what feels best for you. And what I want you to think of here is drawing your belly button back toward your thighs so that you can really deepen that arch through your spine. Taking just 1 more big breath in here. And on your exhale, use your hands to peel yourself forward. Walk the hands back in ever so slightly, gently lowering the body all the way to the mat. Keep your elbows nice and tight. Take it slow if you can. Relax the feet, relax the hips. Take a big breath in and push through the hands to lift the chest open, sending the gaze forward, maybe even slightly upwards, and then exhaling as we lower back down. Just doing that 2 more times. Take a big inhale to press through the hands, lift the chest open, and exhale as you melt down again. 1 more time, big breath in, lifting open, chest open, shoulders roll back, and exhale, forward again. From here, gently push through your hands back onto your knees, taking your big toes together, and your knees can come as wide as the mat. Sit your hips back onto your heels and just walk your arms out nice and long, bringing your chest down to the ground, coming into a child's pose. And taking 1 more big breath in your child's pose, allow your hips to become nice and heavy here, feeling that length come into your spine. On your next exhale, just start to push through the hands, bringing yourself into an all fours position again. Take your time finding that alignment through the body. And then tuck all 10 toes in underneath your heels, pressing through your hands. Push your hips back and up as you come into your first downward dog of the day. And it's always nice to go for a little paddle here. So you can paddle out your heels, lifting and lowering, alternating sides. You could also twist your hips a little bit to the side, and it can be quite nice to just shake the head left to right, loosen out any tension in your neck and shoulders. As you shift your weight into your left foot, take an inhale to bring your right leg all the way up into a 3-legged dog. You can keep this length, feeling that opening through your hips, but it could also be nice to bend through your right knee and bring your right heel towards the left side of your bum. If stillness feels good for you here, you're welcome to stay as so, or you could also start to draw some circles with your knee, so almost opening the whole hip joint, keeping the left hip as stable as possible, letting that right hip do the work. Take 1 more big breath in here. We're going to find some length through that right leg again, and then on your exhale, bring your right knee to your left elbow, hovering it just above the mat, and inhale to shoot that right leg up to the sky again. Exhale, take your right knee to your right elbow, and inhale, lengthen and lift. Finally, exhale, right knee in between both elbows. Hover here for 3, 2, 1. We're gonna lower it down so the right shin comes to the mat. And I invite you to just paddle your left foot back a little bit more, finding some space in your hips. If you'd like to bring the hands to either side of the hips, just lifting and opening through the chest. And when you're ready, exhale, walking it forward, either coming onto the forearms. You could also rest your head onto your hands, or it can of course be nice to reach the arms out nice and long, finding a full big stretch through the whole back of the body. What I want you to think of here is the balance on either side of your hips. So it's easy to kind of roll on one side, letting all of the weight shift to that side. If you think here that your pelvis is the midline of your body, and that's just staying nice and central, so you're not really putting too much pressure on one side of the lower back, and most of this stretch will be felt in your right glute, but of course you may also feel something in the front of the left hip as well. Taking one more big breath in here. When you feel ready, use your hands to press your torso back upright, and I have a little challenge for you today. You're going to tuck your left toe under your heel again. Sorry, all of your left toes under your heel, not just one. Pushing through your hands. Big breath in. You're going to push and lift that right leg all the way up to the sky again, finding that three-legged dog. And then take it back into that normal downward facing dog. Paddle it out, wiggle it out, whatever feels good and releasing for you, any kind of movement. Of course, if at any point you need to come back into a child's pose, you're very welcome to. Preparing yourself to do that all over again on the other side. Find that stillness. Shift your weight to your right foot and inhale your left leg up to your three-legged dog. Again, if stillness here feels good for you, you can focus on your breath, or exhale, bring the left heel toward the right side of the bum. Feel that left hip open up and maybe start to go for those circles with the left knee. Allow that hip joint to really move through its full range of motion, allowing some extra blood flow and helping our mobility over time. Taking one more big breath here, we're going to find that length through the left leg again. And when you're ready, exhale, left knee to right elbow, hover just above the mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Finally, exhale, left knee in between both hands. Hover here for 3, 2, 1. Gently lower down. Shimmy that right foot back. Find that space in your hips again. Lift the torso, bringing the hands to either side of the hips, or even just slightly in front if that feels like a little bit too much. Take a big breath in, and on your exhale, use your hands to walk forward. Again, if that's just staying on the forearms today, that is fine. Or of course, you have the option to go that little bit lower and give yourself that full release through the body. Again, just checking over here, if you're rocking to one side a little bit more than the other, we do often have one side that likes these kinds of movements better than the other. So if that is the case for you, don't kind of get frustrated if it doesn't feel as good over here. Maybe it feels better. Rather just allow yourself to melt into this posture. It's a really nice one for that outer hip and glute. And you'll definitely feel quite a lot more open in the lower back when we come out of here as well. Taking one more big breath in, filling up that belly. And on your exhale, find that weight into your arms again. Start to press your torso upright, getting ready for that little challenge again. So just walk that right toe underneath the heel again. Get a bit of weight into the hands. Big breath in, pushing back, lifting that left leg all the way up to your three-legged dog, and exhaling, taking it back down to your down dog. Paddle it out, wiggle it out, take whatever feels good for you. Taking one more big inhale in here. On your exhale, we're going to gently lower the knees to the mat. Take the big toes together, sit the hips to the heels, and come into a child's pose. Allowing yourself a little bit of time to just let the heart rate come down. Find your breath again. Take one more big inhale into the belly in your child's pose. And then on your exhale, again, just pull through the hands, bring yourself forward into that all fours position again. Take your time as you move here, tucking your toes under your heels. Send the hips back and up into that down dog one more time, and just take that little paddle out. It can be nice to just really settle into it every time that you come up. We're going to shift the weight into the left foot again. Inhale the right leg up to the sky. Find that opening. It might feel a little bit more spacious this time around. And this time on your exhale, you're going to bring your right knee through to your nose and step it straight up in between your hands. So don't worry if it doesn't come through straight away, or if you need to give it a hand, feel free to do so. And then lower your back knee to the ground and relax your back foot. Take an inhale here, finding some length in your spine, and then reach your arms up toward the sky. And what I want you to think of here is like you're holding a big beach ball. Big emphasis on relaxing your shoulders, keeping some length through your spine, and maybe as you exhale, you can just relax your hips a little bit more. So think about the midline of your pelvis again, like I mentioned before. Your tailbone is still tucked in underneath your spine, but your hips are just melting toward the mat, allowing that left hip to open up. Take one more big breath in here, and then on your exhale, you're going to rain the fingertips either side of that right foot. Keep your left hand where it is, and inhale to peel your right arm up to the sky. You can keep your gaze forward, or if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can look up to the right hand as well. And if the legs are comfortable here, please do stay. But if you would like to deepen, tuck your back toe and lift your back knee. Again, what to think of here is pushing that left heel toward the back of the room and lifting the back of your knee up toward the sky. Maybe you could open the shoulders a little bit more. Right shoulder is stacked on top of left shoulder. Taking just one more big breath in. And on your exhale, bring the right hand back down to the outside of that right foot. Step your right foot back into a plank. Take an inhale here, and on your exhale, stay on your knees or come onto your toes. You're going to lower your chin and chest down to the mat, super, super slow. And just when you touch, inhale to lift your chest, opening up into that upward facing dog again. Take an exhale, roll back on your toes or come through your knees, lifting your hips, backing up into your downward facing dog. Take a paddle, take a wiggle, do what you need to do. It can be nice here to take a big breath in through the nose and exhale a sigh out through the mouth. So big breath in and sigh it out. Do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale to sigh. Last one, inhale. Exhale. If you need a child's pose at any time, just take a little breather, feel free. But if you're ready to keep on moving, shift your weight to your right foot and inhale your left leg up to your 3-legged dog. Find that length, find that opening. Take one more big breath in. And on your exhale, bring your left knee through as if to your chest, and then just step it up in between the hands. Give it a shimmy, give it a move. It doesn't always come straight to where you want it straight away. And relax your back knee, untuck your back toe. Find that length through your spine first, and then when you feel ready, inhale to reach the arms up. Again, think about opening up through the chest, relaxing the shoulders back and down, so just that they're not hunched up toward the ears, and allow your hips to just melt toward the mat. Focus on your breath. It's nice when you come into that bit of stillness. Just slow everything down again, both in the body and the mind. One more inhale. And on your exhale, just rain the hands either side of that foot again. Keep your right hand where it is. And inhale your left arm up to the sky. Again, you have the option to stay here, or you have the option to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, keeping both legs strong if that's the option you go for. And of course, you can look up to that top hand. Think about broadening your wingspan. Left shoulder on top of right shoulder. Opening through the hips. Take one more big breath. Exhale, rain that left fingertip back down to the mat. Step your left foot back to plank. If you need to drop to your knees, do. Take a big breath in. Exhale, chin and chest lower to the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take a paddle, take a wiggle. Nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you want to stay up here a little bit longer, you are welcome to, but I would invite you to, on your next exhale, lower your knees to the mat. Take your big toes together. We're going to sit the hips to the heels, but this time keeping our elbows on the mat Bring the palms of the hands together as if into prayer, and then take them just behind the head, getting a little bit of a deeper opening through our chest and shoulders, and still allowing our hips and lower back to get that really nice release. So while you're here, allow your chest to become really heavy. Imagine like your spine is just curving downward. Your lower back is opening up, your hips are heavy toward your heels. Take one more big inhale, and then on your exhale, release your hands forward again, and slowly pull yourself up into that all fours position. I invite you to take a little moment here to do whatever you feel like you need to do. So if that's roll out your wrists, maybe that's move through a couple of cat-cows, wiggle the hips side to side. Take some time to do what your body really wants you to do here. It will tell you if you listen in. So just have a look if anything is feeling tight or tense, and just give it that little bit of release that it needs before we continue on. Allowing some weight to come into your hands again when you're ready. Tuck your toes and send your hips back and up to a down dog, but just as a transition today. So we're going to lift high up onto our tippy toes and start to walk the feet up to meet the hands at the top of the mat. Now take your time getting them here. Bend the knees as much as you need. They do not have to be entirely straight. And take a nice big inhale as you bring your hands to your shins and lengthen your spine into a halfway lift. So imagine that from the side, the body is in pretty much a 90-degree angle. Your spine is long, the crown of your head is reaching forward, and then exhale into a forward fold. But I'd invite you to take a ragdoll. So bring your right hand to your left elbow, your left hand to your right elbow, and just give yourself a really gentle sway side to side. Your head is hanging heavy, your spine is long, knees are as bent as they need to be, just allowing a nice release through the back of the body. Taking one more big breath in. Exhale, bring the fingertips back onto the mat, and then inhale, press through the soles of the feet, root to rise, coming all the way up into an extended mountain, taking one big breath at the top, and on your exhale, just bringing your hands back down into prayer. Pop your hands onto your hips here, and then when you're ready, you're going to take a nice long step back with your right leg. Gently turning to face the right side of the room that you are in. You're going to keep the feet nice and wide. And I do feel free to adjust here. If you need to move them back or forth, feel free to do so. And I would recommend turning your big toes in about 5 degrees, just to be nice and safe on the outside of the ankles. Bringing the hands back to the hips if they weren't already there. Take a big inhale to lift your chest open and lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, you're going to send your hips backward as you lean your chest forward. So if you can only get to about here, that is absolutely fine. But do see if you can go that little bit deeper today, bending your knees however much you need to. And when you feel like you've gone as low as you can go, release your hands down onto the mat. The elbows can be generously bent, or maybe you're still up nice and high. So taking whatever it is from this stretch that you need today, take a big breath in, and on your exhale, walk both of your hands over to your right leg and just give that leg a little hug. So maybe that's on the right foot, maybe the ankle or shin. But what I want you to think about is bringing your chest toward your thigh and your forehead toward your shin. Take one more big breath in here, feeling that right hamstring open up that little bit more. And on your exhale, we're going to walk both of the hands all the way through center, coming over to the left leg, again giving it that little bit of a hug, maybe ankle, maybe shin, thigh meets chest, and shin meets forehead. Take one more big breath in here. And on your exhale, take the hands back into the center. We're going to start to move into the spine a little bit more. So flattening both hands on the mat, I'd actually recommend lengthening your arms a little bit more. So you're going to almost find that 90-degree angle again. Keep your weight in your left hand and bring it a tiny bit closer to the center of your mat. Inhale as you peel your right arm up to the sky, looking over to the right side of the room. Again, imagine like you're stacking your right shoulder on top of your left shoulder. And exhale as you melt that right hand back to the mat, placing it where the left hand was, and then inhaling as you lift your left arm up to the sky. We're going to do that once more on either side. So exhale, the left hand comes back down to the mat. Inhale, right arm lifts up to the sky. And one more time, exhale, right hand back down. Inhale, left arm back up. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, take that hand back onto the mat. Give yourself a little moment here. Maybe you'd like to inhale to a halfway lift, finding that length through your spine. And exhale, see if maybe you could go that little bit lower, taking it down as far as feels okay for you, not pushing your limits, just to what feels good. And then if you feel ready, keep your weight in your hands. We're going to start to heel toe the feet back in toward one another. Keep your hands on the mat as long as you can, but of course bend your knees as much as you need to here. And we're going to find that ragdoll again. So right hand to left elbow, left hand to right elbow, and give yourself that gentle sway side to side. Take one more big breath in here, and on your exhale, release your fingertips to the mat. And when you inhale, tuck your chin to your chest and very, very slowly start to restack your spine. So one vertebra on top of the other, moving as slowly as you can. Keep your gaze down, especially when you get to the top, not lifting it too quick. And then when you're standing upright, just start to roll the shoulders, bringing them up, back and down. Go for about 3 in one direction, and when you're ready, we can reverse it back in the opposite direction. So just start to roll the shoulders back, up and down. Take a nice big breath in, and on your exhale, feel free to again just shake anything that you feel like you need to shake out, giving yourself a little bit of a reset here. Once you have shaken everything out, I'm going to invite you to come down onto your mat again, lying yourself onto your back. We're going to wrap up today in a really nice reclined butterfly. So you can start by lying yourself down flat and then walk your feet flat, keeping them together as if they're kind of zipped up in between. Then you're going to open your knees nice and wide so that the soles of the feet stay together. Now if you'd like here, you can take your hands onto your belly. This can be really nice to tune into your breath a little bit more. But I'd invite you to try today, reaching your arms behind your head, bringing your right hand to your left elbow and your left hand to your right elbow. This is a really nice one for opening up the whole front of the body. So when you feel like you found that comfortable position, just close down your eyes and start to see what you can soften that little bit more. We're going to start to wind everything down again. So I invite you to scan through your body here, noticing if you can release the shoulders a little bit more. Maybe you could feel those natural curves of the spine resting or lifting from the mat. Maybe you could soften your hips and the outer parts of your glutes a little bit more and relax every little bit in between from your feet all the way up to the top of your head. Once you've found that comfortable position in your body, you can start to check in with your mind. So notice how the mind is feeling now compared to how it did 30 minutes ago. Hopefully a lot slower, a little bit emptier, allowing you space for positive energy, positive thoughts, leaving any to-do lists or worries that you did have until later, knowing that the best thing that you can do for yourself is to fully be here right now. So with that said, bring your awareness onto your breath, watching the inhale fill up the belly again, and the exhale melting back out. This time as you inhale, I invite you to watch that inhale lift from the very base of the belly, up, expanding through the rib cage, and finally coming high up into the chest, before exhaling to release it all out, maybe through a gentle parting in the lips, letting that breath melt from the body again. You can repeat that a couple more times, for as long as you would like. If you want to stay here for 2 more cycles, or maybe for 10 more cycles, but give yourself this little bit of time to switch off before you go back about your day. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all soon.